and welcome, PocketWatch here, and it's about time for another episode of Fata Morgana. So we are going to continue. We just browsed through the Morgana backstory, through her memories, and yeah, that was pretty terrible. So yeah, apparently even in these times, in the small village, relatively small village, the greed for money is still stronger than faith. So yeah. I'm disappointed in these guys, especially in the times like that. Right? Like I assume like people in like small village like that will just stick together and to faith that they have. Like in these times, in small community, like that make total perfect sense to me. But apparently not. Well, let's continue. Are we going to learn something new about Morgana? And a second later, I crash into the stairs. Hard. Okay. Right at my ear, I can hear the hiss of the river of blood. The world fades in and out, giving way to very real images of the past I never lived. I can practically feel the fire in the eyes of that mad blood banquet guests. Oh, he can still relieve this. Oh my god. My vision distorts. I can regain my focus. Is this like this like blood that is flowing down? Is like, are we going to see like Morgana body up there, like with flowing blood? My vision distorts. I can regain my focus. Whose blood is streaming down the stairs? I would assume Morgana, because we just saw in the backstory that her blood been like drained all this time, right? Is it hers? Yeah, mostly. Is it mine? Could be, but as we saw Morgana backstory and the free keys that let you access this, I would say that's Morgana. Who am I? A saint? A witch? Is what I'm seeing through a lens of clarity or madness? Wait, no, I'm not her. I'm Michelle, no one else. It hurts, doesn't it? It's hard to breathe. Your chest is on fire. Your vision is blurry. It's dark, it's lonely, it's scary. It's frustrating. It's disheartening. It's exasperating, isn't it? What you're feeling is exactly the pain I felt. Not fun. I reach my hand out in a plea for help, which is why I see something I can hardly believe. Oh, the cats. Okay. Both of my arms are covered in gashes, blood flowing from them without end. So basically this staircase is influencing not only Michelle's mind but also body, it seems. Because Morgana says that you will feel what I felt, and this is like physical embodiment of what happened to her, like all the cats. The raw flesh beneath my skin has exposed to the open air. All I can bring myself to do is scream. That pain. Her horrible past is doing everything in its power to break me. The 9-year-old girl's sickening experiences are twisting and constricting and crushing me. Why is this happening to you? Are you really that slow, my dear? You're empathizing with my pain. You're just that kind-hearted, Michelle. You said you wouldn't give up, didn't you? That you would make your way to me. Surely you, this won't be enough to do you in? Of course it won't. Mustering up every last bit of strength I can. I begin crawling up the stairs. The red river beats against my open wounds, staining painfully. The simple act of lifting an arm or a leg is almost unbearably agonizing. The blood dripping from my lacerated arms, mixed with the blood already soaking the tower. So this is the pain Morgana suffered. Do you despise everyone, Morgana? Did your resentment at your mother's betrayal, at the people who came seeking your blood, the Lord who took your life. Turn into the hatred for all mankind. I don't think, like, she specifically seems to be targeting, like, specific people because she's been waiting for someone in specific, right? For some people. And the first we had Mel, she said it's time. So, I don't think it's all the mankind, but we'll see what she says. Your perception of me is still incorrect, Michelle. Yeah. My grudge is only against selected few. Think about it, my dear. Of the thousands, millions, billions of people living on this planet, my world is composed part of the minuscule fraction of that. Hatred for all mankind? No, what I feel is not nearly as nebulous. Although if I had died still believing I was a saint, maybe I wouldn't have such a well-defined mission. Are you saying the Lord didn't kill you? Oh, wait, what? Because, whoa, wait. Because she still felt as the saint, she still thought she's the saint at the end of that memory. Oh, interesting. Oh my, did I actually think it was the end of my tale? I did as well. It's clearly looked like you were dead. Ah, despite all your big talk, you're afraid of having us to suffer through any more of that, aren't you? But you're the one who said you wouldn't give in. So go on. Know my pain. Without losing your mind. Okay. Pain part 2. Let's see. So she survived. She got like knocked down maybe or something? Maybe she survived the stab? What happened? Once again, my surroundings crumble. I have no say. I have no chance to object. Before I'm dragged back to the repulsive banquet, I was stretching my hand as far as I will reach, but all I can grab is darkness. My bloodless body sinks back into the abyss. The pain becomes more than just a memory, eroding away at my consciousness. Okay. Okay, let's see. You're a damned witch wearing a saint's skin. Maybe if I had died then, I wouldn't have become the witch you know now. Okay? So she stopped believing she's a saint at some point. But that's all conjecture. Theorizing about what could have happened is the exercise of futility. But no, I did not die that day. Brought together by constant mistreatment, the Lord's slaves chose that moment to start the revolt. Oh! Oh, he didn't have time to stop her. Oh! Revolt happened and that's how she survived. Like in the last second. Okay. When he swung down his blade, someone bumped into him and it was knocked off its course. I didn't have the strength to get to my feet, so I simply watched the chaos unfold before my hazy eyes. It never even occurred to me that I should try to escape. At some point during the riot, a young man, one of the slaves, grabbed my bloody body, limp arm, and led me out of the Lord Manor. The young man brought me to the slum, a place where the people banded together in their hardship, barely scraping together enough to eat every day, let alone pay taxes demanded of them. By the time we had arrived at the small brother located a ways into the slums, the fog was starting to clear from my mind. I knew where we were, and feeling the gazes of those sanctity-clothed women I trembled. Yeah, okay. In a sense, that was possibly the most frightened I had been in my life, despite everything else I had been through. Okay, I guess she's going to work there, isn't she? The idea that I had fallen so far, I would have become a prostitute, scared me to death. After all, I was saint, and saints were supposed to retain their purity. Spreading my legs for any man who gave me enough coins would shatter my very identity. As all that was going through my mind, I probably shouted no in protest, because the slave gave me the exasperated look and told me he hadn't brought me here to become a prostitute, okay? He said he knew someone here, someone I could trust, that she would give me a room. I had trouble believing him though. I couldn't trust the word of the prostitute, someone who valued money more than her own body. Yeah, I think like she's getting and remembering to her of her mother, right? I think like she was a prostitute as well, right? Maybe. No, wait, she wasn't. Because she just like kept secret that she was like with the man anyway. Yeah, because of the saint, birth of the saint. So yeah, she wasn't the one. Okay, so it's just like her thing. Okay, I see. It was all a trap, I was sure. One day they would tell me I had to work. Nothing he said to convince me otherwise. Apparently, sensing my mistrust, the slave gave me the apologetic frown and handed me a mirror saying, "Even if I did, you couldn't get any work looking like that." I couldn't believe what I saw. I can imagine. This is like total like bloody, full of scars, missing skin. Oh my god, this is terrible. Probably some of like wounds are like rotting away or something as well. That couldn't be my face. It had been an illusion. There was no way. That was not the face of the saint. It couldn't be. It wasn't real, it wasn't possible. Patches of skin had fallen on my face, exposing the raw red flesh beneath. It looked quite similar to what had been done to my arms and legs. Except my face had never been cut before. Oh. What? So is she actually sick? I don't know any disease that would make like skin to fall off. But it sounds like she catched up like some kind of disease. Looking at myself in the mirror, even I doubt my own sainthood. The thing in my reflection was the hellish abomination. It was the twisted face of a witch. And although I was shocked by what I saw at the same time, it answered several lingering questions. It explained why the Lord and his guest was panicked at the sight of me. So this happened like overnight? What? What happened? And it also explained why he had said I was the witch wearing a saint's skin. Over the course of dozens of banquets I had participated, my face must have mutated, twisted into this ugly, sickening, monstrous thing. The sight of what I had become sapped the last bit of the willpower from me. Not because I was practically fond of my face or thought myself especially beautiful, but because it crushed me to see everything saintly about me crumble away. Test from God or otherwise, I didn't have strength left to attempt to overcome it. Deciding I would rather be dead than struggle any longer, I begged the slave to kill me. Taking one's life was a sin. If I did that, I would not be able to return to my father's side, and I wanted to ask him why I had been put through such a tribulation. But the young man refused. He said, completely missing my intentions, that if I persevered, good fortune would eventually find me. He said that if I lived on, I would eventually have a chance to get my payback. I had no such worldly concerns though, but if no one would take my life, I had no choice but to leave. Despised life at the brothel. The men who came to buy their services were disgusting buffoons. The kind of people who would think they could deceive God. And the women throwing over them were just as repulsive. They said I had nowhere else to go. That said, I had nowhere else to go, which meant I was forced to suffer that sickening place. But at the time, a year or so had passed, so she is 10 now. Around 10. My feelings about it had changed. The woman of the brothel took good care of me, treating me like a sister. First it was just irritating, I was a saint. How could a saint have prostitute for sisters? But over time, I got to know them better, grew to appreciate their circumstances and hardships. Despite barely having enough money to keep food on the table, whenever they had a little time to spare, they would use it to purchase medicine, ointments to apply to my arms, legs, and face, and as a result of their generosity, my arms and legs started looking almost human, but nothing had any effect on my face. Okay, what's happening to her face? If this works on other parts of her body and not face, I'm starting to think it might not be a disease then? Because otherwise it would like, if like this treatment that she had like works on some parts of her wounds, then I don't see a reason why it wouldn't like work on her face. Occasionally the slave would drop in to check on me. The other man fought me ghastly and wouldn't get anywhere near me, but he was different. And every time he visited, he would say, "One day I will show you the world." And to tell you the truth, I was beginning to grow attached to it all. My time at the Brood was possibly, all things considered, one of the brighter chapters of my life. There I was neither saint nor witch, but an ordinary human girl. For the first time, I felt like my life had meaning beyond my assumed divine purpose. I was even beginning to feel kind of happy. Okay, good. So we're going in the good direction, right? Right? Happy ending? And with each passing day, my intractable worldview was gaining a little more flexibility. I swear, like this guy, like the slave will like sell her or something, like, yeah, I don't know, like something like, yeah. Perhaps I could perform miracles, but that didn't necessarily mean I had to be daughter of God or saint. Maybe I was just a regular person who happened to possess some unusual abilities. Ridiculous, isn't it? Despite coming to accept my humanity, I refused to let go of my miraculous powers. They were the last thing protecting what I thought as myself. But to me at the time, it felt like a very dramatic change of heart. 3 years after the revolt at the Lost Manor, I had my 12th birthday. Yeah. Okay. Because we had 1 year before and now we had 3 years after the... Yeah, okay. For which they threw me a little dinner party. The women all pitched in the bake me treats, and the young slave man was there too. I was happy. I thought that if life could continue like this, I was fine with not going back to being a saint. But for some reason happiness always seems to slip away as soon as you've got your hands around it. Probably apparently nothing works on her face, so I don't think they will ask her to be a prostitute, but something else will happen probably. I wonder what. No one sincerely wants to lose it, so why must they? I certainly didn't mind not being miserable. Let me tell you what happened that night. One night of my birthday celebration, bandits attacked the poor brothel. Okay. Now bandits were hardly a rarity in that time, so everyone was always on the lookout, and we never went out at night. They wouldn't stop at robbing you either. They were armed with blades, and frequently killed their targets if necessary. But cautious as we were helpless against the direct raid. The brothel fell into panic, screams echoing in the night. The customers were craving up and left for dead. The women were bound and stowed away to be sold. My peaceful world shattered in an instant. The next thing I knew, I was some slave trader merchandise. Okay, once again a slave. Okay. I don't know what became of the prostitutes who cared for me, or the slave who brought me to them. He's probably dead. I assumed the woman sold and the young man slaughtered. Yep. But regardless, I found myself being dragged around in the back of the carriage once more. The carriage was packed so tightly you could barely see the floor, and it smelled like death. Sweat, urine, feces, every foul odor imaginable compressed into a tiny space. I wonder if, like, now I think about this, the people she hates, right? The people that she wants to, like, curse, like Mel and stuff. So they are most likely like resurrections or like reconstructions or whatever of the people that she knew back in the day. So I would say she's been sold 3 times or something, and each time like her like owner is the person that she hates the most. So basically like Mel Jacopo Yukimasa is like one of the reincarnations of like one of the lords. So the first one that like drained her blood and like, you know, the banquet stuff and stuff, and like the one of these three is him basically. And now she's going to be sold to another one, and she's going to curse the other one and stuff like this. And probably the last one will kill her or something. That's my prediction for this. Or maybe even not kill her, maybe she will escape and just die in some forest or something. Could be as well. Maybe she could even die in the mansion, because she's tied to this mansion somehow. So maybe she escaped from the last lord or last owner, basically, and she will like hide in the mansion and she will die there, maybe because of wounds or something. Or maybe she's just like going to be tracked down and killed, something like this. There were both men and women there, nearly all of them muttering or groaning or weeping. Everyone was young, ripe to be put to work. It didn't take me long to realize what fate awaited those people and me. And when I did, I sat there in silence. Therefore, the first time I cried, I was experiencing, I believe, a very human emotion. I was sad, hurt that I had been taken away from the place where I was happy. From the woman, and the brother, and that young man. It crushed me. And no longer did I wonder why such a thing was happening to the Holy Daughter of God. Something about my tears must have seemed strange to him, because one man saw me and said, "Why are you crying?" The hell? He was a curious man. To start, he looked very different from anyone else. The color of his skin, the length of his nose, the shape of his eyes. Everything about him was new and unusual. Interesting outsider, I would say, like from different country. Hesitantly he replied, "Is this like one? Okay, is this guy the person that she's going to curse? Because if like this is the first time outside of like second door that we see hearing someone telling that other person looks different than you, and that was Yakimasa. So is this guy somehow going to betray her or something? She's going to curse him, and Yukimasa is like his reincarnation?" Hesitantly I replied, "I'm sad because I didn't get the chance to show my gratitude to people very dear to me." The man fell silent, looking as though he was deep in thought. I had no idea why he asked me that, but something about him made me uncomfortable, so I couldn't bring myself to ask. Several hours later, the man suddenly stood up. The guards had no patience for anyone stepping out of the line. They didn't look like they would hesitate to kill us either. So unsurprisingly, one at the back of the carriage drew his sword and pointed it at the man. That was surprising though. What was happened next? The man, his hand, shackled like the rest of us, leapt for the guard, slamming his fist into his face and stealing his sword. Okay. The entire carriage was in shock. The guards were too stunned to effectively react, so they were quietly cut down. And also this guy using a sword just like Yukimasa. I swear this is what this guy is going to do something to her. I swear. Okay, I don't know who the fuck was the first lord. Could be Mel, because of like, you know, being rich, right? and Mel was like from basically nobility. So I would say the first lord, like it's going with the doors. First door was Mel, and second is going to be Yukimasa, and third lord will be Jacopo. It's something like this. Okay, it is. It must be. Yeah, because the one-man uprising has taken place between cities. There was no one the slave traders could ask for help before they were slaughtered. In a blink of an eye, it was all over, and there was nothing human about what I had witnessed. See? And we have Beast reference. It's Yukimasa. At least like he's like earlier reincarnation, like he's like original self. If I had to describe it, it would say it was the wild beast had attacked. Yep. The man ruffled through the slave trade's clothes until he found the keys, which he brought to me, ordering I unshackle him. And so I did, as he commanded. Once they had enough time to process what happened, the would-be slaves applauded. The wretched souls had been saved. And for the moment I believed so too. Yeah, but this guy is not as good, it seems. So he's going to sell you or something, right? He's going to act as the slave trader now. When the man's hands were free, he rolled his shoulders a couple times, made sure everything was in place, and then he began his massacre. Never mind, he just enjoyed murdering everyone. Holy fuck, holy Jesus. Okay, we should never let him go. Screams of agony filled the carriage as he ran his sword through the helpless men and women packed inside it. Blood and guts were splattered against every surface. What the f... Okay, how do you survive this? You still didn't met the third lord, or like, not lord, like third person basically, because this guy is not a lord. Like third person for you to curse, so how the hell did you survive this? Did he just like decided, you know what, I'm not going to kill you? And those who tried to escape did not get far too, before mercilessly squared. It was like the scene out of the nightmare. I was frozen in place, not out of fear, but because my mind had shut down. I couldn't make sense of what was happening, so my mind rejected it. And with my brain having given up, my body was no more than a lifeless puppet. Wow, the image is like more and more bloody. In short order, all the slaves were dead, and I was sitting in a pool of blood, staring at the man. He pointed his blade at me, and with a little smirk, said, "Why didn't you run?" In turn I asked him, "Why did you kill them?" The smile vanished from his face, and after a few quiet moments of pondering he replied, "Because I felt like it." Yep, that's a... yep, okay. "And why haven't you killed me yet?" I asked. To which he gave a curt, "I don't know," then withdrew his blade and wandered off into the distance. He just let you leave like that? Okay, what the fuck? And then I was alone, surrounded by corpses. I glanced down, and half of someone's face was looking back at me. What the fuck? Okay. This scene, as horrifying as it's been, it's not really... it wasn't really that much of an issue for her to curse him, because he didn't technically do anything to her. If anything else, yeah, he gave like her traumatic like memory, sure, but it's like he basically saved her, so why would she curse him? I'm not entirely sure, you know? Maybe you have explanation in the comments for this, but I don't think like that guy deserved like being cursed by her in specific. He didn't do anything personal to her, you know? Basically saved her life. Wrapped in the absolute darkness. Warm blood spills onto my cheeks, my hair, and skin. Chunks of human flesh rain down on me. The fuck? Yeah. Make it stop. There's no end to the deluge. The smell of death fills the air. Yeah, like I said, like, this is like extremely traumatic situation to be in there. But he basically saved her life. You cannot argue with that. I'm struck with the wave of nausea, as strong as I can hold back the contents of my stomach. But when my mouth opens to vomit, blood pours into it. Ugh. Oh, what the hell? The hands? Let go of me. Dead bodies grab my ankles, drag me down. Okay, maybe she cares him only because of like he giving her PTSD. Maybe that's the issue. Actually. I still feel like outside of this, like there's like no personal agenda against this guy. Where? Hell or the mountains of corpses? Now, do you understand that there was a time, if but briefly, when I was happy, when I felt human emotions, but I wish I never had. If I'd remained confined in my Daughter of God shell, then I doubt I would have felt so much terror in the sight of death. I can't say anything in response. I can't form words. I feel what she experienced, the massacre she witnessed, the limp flesh piling up around her. Even more than twice her age is enough to drive you mad. The fact that 12-year-old girl had to experience something so unspeakable devastates me. Yeah. Tell me, my dear. Do you pity me? Do you sympathize with me? If you feel bad for me, then you will remain with me. You will feel my pain and my despair with me. Won't you? The witch crackle echoes through the pile of bodies. There's not a speck of light. A hideous death lingers everywhere. Helpless to resist, I'm dragged down to the deep, dark ocean. An ocean of blood. Holy Jesus. Oh, back to this, okay. Now on with the story. I will go with the story in the next episode, actually. I'm feeling like we're about to see the third one. And I want to leave this for the like separate thing. So we just had like apparently Yukimasa meeting or whatever this guy name is like in original. But yeah, I still don't see like I see like she could curse the First Lord. I don't see really like personal agenda against this guy, so I'm not sure. But seems like she just cursed him because, well, he gave her like terrifying PTSD, like they said, like she was just 12 and like she was basically like everyone around like next to her just like slaughtered and like chopped off into pieces and everything. So yeah, she could like curse him for that, I guess. But yeah. And we'll go with the story for the next episode. Thank you everyone for being with me. I'm very curious who's the third one. Who's going to be the first Jacopo basically of the story. So yeah. Thank you everyone for being with me. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next one. Leave up a like if you like the episode. Support me by subscribing, checking my Discord, become a member if you'd like to support me and see the episodes earlier. Thank you once again, and I will see you in the next one. So for now, Pocket Watch is going out.